Okay, everyone, this is Wayne Thompson with Black Legal. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I'm here with my partner, Clayton Gums, and we are so excited to be going over Law Firm Marketing 101 with you, talking about marketing strategy and implementation and really ultimately how we're going to get new clients to your firm. So let's go ahead and dive right in. First of all, we want to say thank you for joining us today. My name is Wayne Thompson, one of the partners here at Black Legal. I have a background in sales, marketing, and operations. I've worked for various multi-million-dollar companies, being and fortifying the backbone of their revenue generation strategies. So that's where my expertise lies. I've also dabbled and dabbled in operations and really helping clients and companies really optimize their workflows. Loved working with all the various companies and especially worked as a consultant briefly with FAMU College of Law, which is one of the birthplaces of Black Legal. So really excited to be with you. And now I'm going to let my partner introduce himself, Mr. Clayton Gums.
Yes, like my colleague said, Clayton Gums. Just want to say I'm excited to dive into some great information for you all. I know it's going to be valuable for your firms and definitely going to steer you in the right direction. I know that a lot of you are wanting to go in. So a little bit about myself. Like Wayne said, I got a chance to work with FAMU College of Law. And it was an amazing experience, and it kind of led to the birth of Black Legal. And it gave us the passion to really partner with lawyers. Just interacting with students and alumni there, I got a real pulse for the industry and the different challenges that they were facing. And being a marketer and a designer, I saw that we definitely had some resources and tools that we could really benefit the market with. So partner with my colleague here, Wayne, and we put together Black Legal. So like I said, we're excited to share this information. I don't want to belabor the point. I want to be able to dive right into it, but have 15 years of experience, and I'm here to give it all. Not hold anything back, just so that we could see you all prosper in what you're looking to do, and honestly take the market. This is the goal. This is the ultimate goal for Black Legal, to help Black lawyers take the market. So let's jump into it.
Awesome. Okay, so to begin, I'm going to go over some goals. You are here if you really want to shore up some of your marketing, learn how you can better market your firm and better position your firm. So the goals for here today, we're going to identify gaps in the marketing strategy, the marketing creative, and also the marketing plan. And what the objective here today is to get clear on how to better engage potential clients and drive the right type of leads to your firm to capture and to convert them. We want to go over this process because there are some nuances and there's also some misnomers and myths that we're going to debunk throughout this process. But before we really get started, we want everyone to commit to this time. We know that there's so much going on in your lives. You're lawyers, your attorneys, and you have your firms, you have questions to answer. But this time, we want you to focus, right? We want you to put away the distractions, put away the emails for just this amount of time so we can dive deep and get those questions answered so we can really make a difference in growing your firm. So put your phone on silent, let anyone know, hey, I'm not going to be available for the next few minutes. I'll get back to you as soon as it's done. But we really want you to get the most out of this training, and we're super excited to do it with you. All right, so let's talk about the challenges. So the challenges are, ideally right now, you don't have an ideal client, nor do you understand them, nor are you speaking to them in your marketing. Probably because no one told you you should, but we're going to go over what we need to do in order to rectify that situation. And then also the offers that you have currently are probably not the strongest offers because you're not having that understanding of who your ideal client is, and you're not giving clients any reason to take action right now and move forward in your marketing life cycle. Also, there's probably a lack of consistency in the marketing lead generation activity, meaning you tried something a little bit here, you tried something a little bit there, but you're not doing it consistently. As it stands, your firm is more than likely being supported by referrals. Am I right? Yeah, we're most of our lawyers that we work with, if not all of them, when we get to them, they're working off of referrals. But now it's time to strategize and optimize so that we can create some scalability. All right. Also, there's Me Too marketing. So you saw someone else, you saw another lawyer, and who looks like that they were legitimate, and they had a great brand, and you just copy them, and now they're generating a whole lot of leads, and you're not. But there's nothing that's differentiating you, right? You can easily replace what your logo is with your competitor's logo. It's just really, really challenging. Also, the short term, quick, all or nothing thinking, meaning you tried one thing and then you figured, you know what, this just doesn't work. And that's a limiting way of thinking. We don't want you to quit, right? We don't want you to say marketing doesn't work because it does. It's a way for you to scale your business, for you to duplicate your efforts and really go beyond where your reach can go, especially with referrals. And then random acts of marketing activity without a clear strategy or defined measures of success. If we're not calculating, if we're not continuously getting better in this marketing, we're not going to be successful. We're not going to be able to tweak and and double down on the things that we're doing well and completely scrap the things that we're not doing well. And then often we see this bad copy, bad grammar in social media marketing or any type of marketing that you're doing, any external efforts. There's no QA process. And then you're really trying to execute really complicated campaigns without maximizing the quick little wins. So trying to hit that home run without getting on base first. We want to make sure that we're figuring out how we overcome this challenge of doing that in the past and move forward. Okay. So, we're going to be talking about 11 steps to driving more of the right type of clients to your firm. The first step is what we call Kaizen, and that means that there will be continuous development and continuous growth. So, the first thing that we need to affect is the mindset that marketing is just this thing I do one time. Oh, I go and get a website, I'm done. It couldn't be farther from the truth. Marketing is a forever process. Now that you have a website, you need a clear strategy on how you're going to get people there. And if you don't have that, your website is basically a glorified business card. It's not really helping you at all because no one knows about it. But what we have to do first is accept within ourselves marketing is a forever process. And your marketing and business development campaigns that we create should be continuously evaluated and updated regularly. This helps us, like I mentioned earlier, double down on the activity that we're doing right and completely get rid of the trash that's not working. We all know the 80-20 rule. That means 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of what your effort or your activity is. So why are we spending time on the other 80%? Let's just get rid of it. Let's double down on the 20% that's working. And that's what we're going to be doing with this marketing process. That's why step one is the foundation. It's called Kaizen.
Yeah, and just to add, Wayne, one of the, I mean, honestly, just for this industry, being able to work with several clients in this industry, you'll set yourself apart from the crowd just with this first step. The reality of it is, um, marketing traditionally in the law industry is kind of a second thought. You know, it's like, okay, I have to take care, I have to provide the service of the law. I have to provide the information. I have to be, at all these hearings. I have so many aspects of the actual firm that I have to do that. Oh yeah, by the way, I have to go and now market. And the reality of it is, if you're always thinking of it in those terms, as a second thought, then you're gonna be like the majority of the market, 80% of the market, who just basically just follows, like Wayne mentioned earlier, the Me Too syndrome. You're just doing what everyone else is doing. But if you put some effort here and you understand that it's an ever evolving aspect of your business, of your firm, then you'll be ahead of the crowd by far.
100% accurate. Which leads us into the next step, which is going to be another differentiating factor is that 80% of lawyers aren't even using. Getting clear on your ideal client. So, what we have to understand, and another mindset shift that we have to accept, is that the business side of your law firm is just like any other business. And any other business, in order to be really successful, needs to have an ideal client, a target client who you continuously want to work with, that you are reaching out to in your marketing. Now, we already know right now you're being propped up on referrals, and the business is being generated by referrals. However, as we mentioned before, referrals are not predictable. How do you know how many referrals are coming in next month versus the month after? How do you begin forecasting? How do you make smart financial decisions if you're not even sure on a consistent basis how many people are you're going to be signing up to the firm on a monthly basis? Well, marketing helps us get that predictability and that scalability, right? But in order to do that, before we get even to there, we got to get clear on who we work with the best. Who's the client that we work with, that we love to work with, and that it just fits who we are? For Black Legal, we can let you know it's Black owned business owners, or excuse me, Black owned lawyers and law firms. That's what we work with best. We want to be able to support the initiative because it's the least diverse profession in the world. Less than 5% of all lawyers in the United States are African American, and only about 3% of those actually have a firm or are part of a partner at a firm. So we really have a passion to be able to help that small population compete with the larger population. That's our ideal client. So ask yourself the question, what's your ideal client? Who do you want to help the most? And in turn, what do they look like? What are they? What's their gender? What's their age? What are their hobbies? What do they like to do? Do they like to shop? Where do they like to spend time? Do they go to church? Do they volunteer? You know, being extremely clear on this will allow you to begin to target your marketing efforts without wasting hundreds of thousands of dollars in your marketing efforts. It may seem crazy, but it's all about being an inch wide and a mile deep. We want
Mm.
to have as much depth as possible and get as specific and niche down who your practice can help the best.
Yeah, this is really good, Wayne, because I mean, this helps everyone that's listening to this presentation, helps you to stop following those leads that come in and trying to change up your marketing every time you get a different type of client.
Mhm.
That can be very frustrating. It can lead to, a lot of frustration in regards to what area of focus you should take with your firm. You know, a lot of times you may get 5 clients that all need one particular thing, and now you believe that that's your thing. And the next month, because it's referral based, it could be 5 clients that need totally different services. So this helps you to hone in and be consistent with your marketing, and allows you to like Wayne mentioned earlier, you start to look at metrics, and you start to measure how effective your approach is. So you may start out and say, hey, this is my ideal client. You know, I want to provide this service. And you put all of your marketing efforts in place to approach that client. And you would, be able to, approach this for, let's say 3 months or so. And now after those 3 months, you'll have some data to look at to let you know, hey, you know what? I made it up, I made an attempt to go after this client, and I'm just realizing that this may be not the client that I need. But with that centralized focus, you are able to get that data. When you're doing it based off of referrals, it's all over the place. So you really kind of don't know where to go or who to focus on. So this is vital, is absolutely vital.
Awesome. Great insight, Clayton. All right, so on to the next step. And we call this the ultimate framework. All right, and what the ultimate framework is a series of questions that we have to ask ourselves before we do any additional marketing. So we've got step one is Kaizen, we've got step two is establishing who our ideal client is. Step three is now to go through this ultimate framework to answer these 6 questions. And all of these steps right now, we're doing this and establishing this before we're spending any money on our marketing, right? Because if we're not super clear on this strategy, then we're going to be wasting money. Right? We've seen people waste hundreds, if not thousands of dollars saying things like we said before, marketing doesn't work. They don't have a clear strategy. So what we're trying to do here is establish that this is a clear and concise strategy that you need to have before spending any money. Okay? So, what that starts off with is number one, detailing what category describes you. That's easy for everybody on the call. We're in the field of law, right? Really simple. The second one is now to clearly define what problems you solve and what benefits you provide. This is super important to your clients, and we'll go over how we utilize this information. But take time, whether on a physical document where you're going to writing it down or a digital one on the computer, make sure that you're answering these questions. Write all of these out and answer these questions, okay? The third thing, differentiation. What makes you unique? Like we said before, a lot of people suffer from Me Too marketing. Like I'm just like the person down the road. And if you are taking the same pictures in the same poses that every other lawyer is taking, well, why would a client choose you over them? What makes you you? Right? Clients value relationships. The clients value people who they know, they like, and they trust. They will not buy from you unless those three components are seen in your marketing efforts and then also seen in the relationships that they have with you. So in order for them to buy from you, we'll say this a lot, clients have to know you, they have to like you, and then they must, absolutely must trust you. So what makes you different so that they can trust you versus anyone else? And then also, you need to tell others what you care about. What's your purpose? What are your core values? This is extremely important because clients want to know, well, why are you doing what you're doing? Did you just go to law school for 3 years because of the heavy payday that was coming? That's already the perception of most clients to lawyers. They already think lawyers are just trying to overcharge them and steal their money as opposed to trying to solve their problems. And if you tell your story about your core values and your mission, now they can understand again that you're not just in this for the money, but you're actually here to help change lives. And also, why should they believe you? What credibility pieces can you bring in? What credibility pieces can you establish? How many cases have you won? How much money have you recovered for your clients? Everyone says, I'll fight for you. Every lawyer, again, it's just the Me Too marketing. But why are you fighting for them? Why do you believe that they can win? That is what's going to be super important and what's going to differentiate you from, again, more than 80% of the current firms that are out there who are doing the exact same thing. This is the ultimate framework and step three in what you need to do on your way to getting the right type of clients for your firm. Okay, step four, the marketing life cycle. And yes, the C in cycle is capitalized on purpose. We want to put emphasis on the cycle portion of this, right? So first of all, before we start spending money on our marketing, and we've accepted Kaizen, now we've got our ideal client, now we've answered the 6 questions. All right, now what do we start to do to generate people to come to a firm? Because we got all those things established. So the first thing that we want to do is attract customers to us, whether that be in person or online. And as we're attracting customers to us through social channels, through advertisement, most lawyers use television commercials. Unless you got a big budget and not really caring about ROI, really wouldn't use TV a whole lot if you don't have a humongous budget. But let's say you're doing that. The first goal after you start to attract your clients is to capture their information. Okay. Notice, we're not saying that you're attracting them and now you're trying to close them or now you're trying to sign them up as a new client. The first step you need to establish is capturing their information, their name, their email, their phone number, at least these 3 pieces of information. And then as we go on to step 3 in this marketing life cycle, it's now time to nurture them, to give them the necessary information. Whether you're doing family planning law, wills and estates, employment litigation, personal injury, whatever you're doing, give them the education that they need. It's so important that they understand why is it that they need a lawyer before you start to promote any of your services and saying, we can do this for you, we can do this for you. No, the client is the hero of their own story. You, as their lawyer, are their guide to get them to get the amazing results that they want in their own story. So in order to do that, you have to equip them with information over what their rights are or what type of situation that they could be in. They really don't know, and they're coming to you because you're the expert, right? So it's important that we nurture and we foster this relationship. And again, we're not trying to sell to them at this point, or get them to sign up for our services. We want to nurture that relationship so they, again, know, like, and trust you, right? Then we move on to the fourth step, which is the convert. Now, this is the time where money is exchanged and we're moving on to that next step, which is they've understood you, they trust you. Now it's time for them to retain your services. And then we're going into step five, which is now to serve them. So this is so important. When you're serving your clients, you want to go above and beyond. Under promise and over deliver because they're going to remember that. And because they're going to remember that, now they're going to generate you the right type of referrals you need. Now, although referrals aren't the systematic and sustainable way to continue to build and scale your law firm, it is a way to add icing on the cake. It'd be great if you already knew you were getting 10 clients consistently per month, but you're averaging about 4.5 to 5 referrals a month because you're doing such a great job positioning your services, winning for your clients, going above and beyond for them, and then asking them the right way for the right type of referrals. That's what we want to be able to create because that leads us to opportunities to have even future upsells. And this isn't possible if we're just utilizing this as a transactional relationship where we're attracting them and we're just transacting with them. No, we're taking them through this entire life cycle. We're attracting them. We're capturing their information for long-term lifetime client value. We want to increase the lifetime client value. We want to nurture the relationship. So we're giving them information. We're giving them insights. We're giving them instructions on what they need and why their case is pertinent. And then we're converting, serving them so that they can generate more referrals, we can provide opportunities for upsell, and ultimately we have clients who are renewing. So they're coming back to us, doing this over again. We don't want specific situations like if you're in personal injury, we don't want them to become injured again, obviously. But in the event we can package your services in a way that they can retain long term, we want to be able to do that to create passive revenue streams for the firm.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the heart, or should I say, the skeleton of your entire sales and marketing efforts. I mean, I'm just kind of looking and listening to you, Wayne, and I just see that, just how important each of these steps are and how they build on each other. Um, I mean, just looking at step three, yeah, step three, where you talk about nurture and how that nurture leads to conversion and leads to, the referrals and upsells and everything, like how vital that step is. And my favorite step, capture, which I often tell clients, when Wayne and I work with clients, I often tell them that this is almost as, if not more important than the conversion step. And simply because what capturing your clients' information does, it allows you to always have a way to reach out to them and possibly lead to renewals or upsells or even referrals. You have a way to consistently generate business even after having that initial transaction with the client. So it is vital that, if you don't take anything from these 8 steps, I know it could be a lot to try to consume in your mind. The first 4 steps are absolutely vital. You definitely need to make sure you're always thinking about how, I have I have a website or I have a brick and mortar. How am I getting people here to sit down and find out what services as a lawyer I offer? And then when I get them there, I need to make sure I have a way to reach out reach out to them. A lot of you may get called back to your college to do speeches, or you may be a part of different events in your city. And, there's always opportunities where there's individuals sitting in the audience that, may get some information from you, based off of a presentation that you're doing. So you want to make sure that if these people are impacted by the information you're giving them, you want to have a way to reach back out to them and nurture that relationship. So capturing is vital. And then like Wayne said, you want to nurture them. You don't want to just make it about a one transaction. So you want to keep providing value even after their initial interaction with you. Sometimes they may not be interested at the moment, or they may be just doing some initial research. So your nurturing will allow you to be at the forefront of their mind when they're ready to make that, to convert, to make that transaction. And obviously converting You obviously want to build your business, so you want to always be driving to get conversions so that you can obviously grow your business and be able to serve more people in your community. So definitely, if you don't take anything, the top four are vital. But all steps, as Wayne did a great job of describing, they're all part of the life cycle that will keep your business, keep your firm running for sure.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to move on from the life cycle and now go into creating good offers for lead capture. Now, we mentioned before, like really just understanding and getting those 6 questions together and why they were so important, because now we're going to create what's called a positioning statement. And this positioning statement is super important because it speaks to your ideal client, right? It helps them solve their problems. And you've already learned how to write this down because we just went over this in step 3, right? It helps you learn how to articulate how you're going to solve their problems and provide immediate value for them. It also encourages them to engage in a conversation with you and advance the business development and marketing life cycle. We want to have that conversation consistently. We want to be able to let people know that we're here for you to trust us so that we can go to bat for you. We just have to be extremely clear on how we're speaking to that and how we're positioning that, because that one statement alone could have clients again get to that second step of knowing you and then liking you, as opposed to them knowing, what, that's not inclusive of me. And that's what you want as well. You want to be able to have your positioning statements to repel clients that really aren't for you, right? Because you want to work with the right type of client, your ideal client. Okay.
Yeah, we call that the pre-qualification step. And as you work with us more, you'll learn what you'll intimately learn what that step means and how important it is for your marketing efforts.
Just your marketing efforts, but just all around, and saving you time, money, and energy. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, step 6, write good copy. Again, you're gonna hear a lot of these things said over and over again because it's going to save you time, money, and energy. Speak to your target market about their problems. Don't use overused jargon, legal term, and legalese that they have no clue what you're talking about. Use words that and tone that resonate with them. Use terms that resonate with your clients. Write copy as if your clients were speaking, so that when they're interacting with your website, when they interact with you in person, you're not just a person that they can really trust as a person that's credible, but they feel like you understand them. They're not going to be able to make a next step with you if they feel like you're just so high and above, and they can't connect with you, right? We want to be able to speak to emotions, and we want to be able to highlight solutions, and just continuously do this. This is so super important in everything that you have. And we'll show you a couple good examples of this a little bit later.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is, think about it. I know a lot of you lawyers experience this. Your clients are intimidated, when they have to deal with you because it's an area that's not a strong suit for them. Just like if someone was coming to get information about insurance or something that that they don't have to deal with every day. So the more that you can uh, provide comfort from them from the standpoint of speaking in terms that they would understand, the more likelihood of them, like Wayne mentioned earlier, they're going to trust you more, right? They're going to feel like, okay, you're different from the rest of these lawyers because they're talking over my head and I'm already intimidated. So I don't want to get taken advantage of. And I'm speaking as a as a someone who's experienced this myself. You kind of go in a situation with that fear. So the more you could put them at ease, especially even before they speak to you with your copy, with the copy that you present, the better the better conversion you're going to get for sure.
Awesome. All right. So step 7, choose good images and design. Okay, we're going to be absolutely real with everybody on the call right now, and I hope we can be honest with you. The legal industry, when it comes to design, really does not seem to care too much about design. And it's unfortunate because your clients are paying attention to design. your clients are going to click on the things that look good, and they're going to run away from the things that don't look good. We have research and studies to back this up. I mean, we have clients, and we've had research that states like 63% of clients who come to your site and it doesn't have a good layout, it's not easy to find things, will just leave your website. If your
Yeah.
website isn't mobile responsive, meaning that it can be adapted for any device that's being utilized, they'll just leave. And they won't. You'll never be able to get that client back. They could have been interested in your firm. They found your firm, however they did, through referral, whatnot, but you just lost them. And that's potential dollar signs every single time because you didn't choose good design. And most of the time, this happens because as lawyers, you're trying to do your websites yourselves to save money, right? You probably look at the cost of websites and you've seen anywhere between 5,000 to 10,000 to 25,000, depending on the vendors that you've worked with, and you automatically thought, oh, it's not worth that. Well, let's actually think about that for a second. The average person doing a website who has no web design experience, similar, or even has a little bit of design experience, it's going to take you anywhere between 25 to 30 hours to do a basic site that does absolutely nothing. Now let's talk about what your billable hour is. Is it $300? Is it $500? I mean, if you're spending $500, if your billable hour is $500 and you're spending 30 hours on your website, that's $15,000 that you have spent or that you have wasted because you didn't want to
Mm,
hire someone to do your website for 10,000. And that's just on the initial, and then the person. So and right now the website that you've built is already repelling people because you're not having them consistently go to a place that has good design, that has good copywriting, that shows them that you care and providing those opportunities. So really think about this. Really think about that opportunity cost because we've seen it happen time and time again. Okay.
yeah, we always have our clients, or we always ask our clients, should I say, what do you think Apple, Google, I mean, you name it, the top companies of the world, um, Walmart, yeah, and the list goes on. Why do you think they spend so much on marketing? Um, and the answer to that question is simply because they know it pays off, and they understand that if they don't position themselves from a design standpoint, from a copy standpoint, then they're not going to grab your attention because let's be honest, there's so many things competing for our attention right now. So if you're not up to the caliber of an Apple or of one of these other companies I've mentioned, then you're going to get overlooked. If your design looks outdated, there's studies that show that the eye would tend to overlook it. So if you find yourself doing any kind of Facebook advertisement or any digital marketing, and you haven't, if you've tried this before, you say, it doesn't work. Well, you got to look back and say, did I have any compelling design? And another one of these points on the slide is colors and fonts. So if you look at colors, obviously we've talked a lot about trust. So you always want, to develop trust ahead of time before a person has an interaction with you. And if you're using colors like pink, like loud fuchsia pink, and colors that really don't connect with trust, or don't give a person a sense of trust, those things can reflect negatively on your results when you do your marketing efforts. So these are all of the things that must be considered. You can't just do things just because it feels good to you, or because those are your favorite colors. You have to kind of there's a science behind all of this, and the point of this step is make sure you're considering those things because they do play a major role.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, and you want to make sure that clients and anyone that you're working with, if you are working with a web designer, make sure that your clients can see themselves. So again, everything goes back to this building process. Well, who's your ideal client? What do they look like? Okay, let's make sure that they can see yourselves in the image quality that you have on your website. Make sure that the colors, the fonts, and logos all must resonate with your ideal client so that they know this is the place for them. again, we're hammering these same points down because we want you to really get them so you can apply these strategies. Okay, now so we've talked about websites that haven't necessarily been that great. So we're going to show you an example of a previous client of ours and just go through some things really quickly. All right. This was a client that we worked with not too long ago. Fantastic lawyer out of DC by the name of Yaida Ford. What an amazing person and amazing, even more amazing attorney. She's just doing fantastic. And when we came to Yaida, we recognized a whole lot of things going on with her website. The challenges were there wasn't contact information, the design layout wasn't responsive, the messaging is kind of all over the place. You're not really sure where you want to click. And Yaida actually had a person that did this for her, but they didn't do as great of a job as they could have. So as you can see, this is with the website, things are just kind of all over the place. And one of the main things that we said, we want you to see your client to see themselves in what you do and how you act. And right now, it's just a picture of the team, and a client can't really see themselves yet, right? There's just not that established and that trust yet. There's not really anything that's speaking to them consistently, right? So we just wanted to show you that example uh, really quickly. All right, gonna jump back into this. Okay. All right. Step 8. Create a consistent homepage. So, like we mentioned before, we have to be strategic in the way we use our fonts, our colors, our logos, and make it really easy for the prospective client to contact you. Really have clearly visible calls to action. Call us now. Get a free case consultation. Get a free case evaluation. Make sure your website matches your social presence, your ads, on all your marketing material. When a client comes to your site, they want to make sure that they knew if they came through your social channel. If your social channel looks completely different than your website, they're gonna think they got to the wrong place, right? Have you ever walked in a building and you were looking for one particular thing, you got in, and immediately you knew once you got in there that you were in the wrong place? Well, that's how a client what a client experiences when they've clicked on your website from your social media page and it looks completely different. They think they're in the wrong place and they turn around and leave. And then they're not going to come back and continue to look for you. They're just going to say, okay, well, I'm just going to find somebody else. So we need to make sure we create that consistency. Also, this is a step 8A, but also create a consistent landing page, right? So what a squeeze page is, it basically forces prospects to give you their client info. Remember what we talked about. Step 2, capture, right? Attract and then capture. Now, this landing page must be in line with your website and any potential ads that drove them there. Remember, we want to create that consistency from the time they interact with your brand on any social channels or any other channels that they may haven't interacted with you with, coming to a landing page with a form that's just as consistent, and then from there being able to go to your website. Because again, having their information is vital, not only for you to be able to nurture them, but also to follow up. They came and they wanted a free case evaluation. They never said anything after that, and you never followed up. Well, we understand and we've heard the phrase, and maybe you've heard it in business before, that the fortune is in the follow up. But if you don't have any intentional follow up to do this or intentional systems in place that make this happen, then it'll never get done.
Mm-hmm. Very point. Very point.
And then developing a traffic plan. So you heard Clayton or myself say earlier that you could have a website, but it's just a website is basically just a glorified business card if you don't have anybody going to it. We have this analogy that we use all the time. Black Legal is based in Orlando, Florida, and in Orlando, as many of you know, is Disney World. What many of you may not know is the reason why Disney World is here as opposed to St. Louis. And Walt Disney was traveling from Tampa, flying into Orlando, as the turnpike was built, and I-4 was built, and the turnpike was being built. And as he flew over, he saw the point where I-4 intersected with the turnpike, and there was a big pile of land right there. He then determined that's where he was going to build Disney World, because Walt Disney realized that if he builds a place that is in a place where traffic is already going to be, it's going to be successful. Well, that's the same thing with your website. We need to build it so that traffic is coming continuously. If we don't have a traffic plan to get to your website is pointless. I'm sure we've all heard the phrase, if a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound? And no one's ever hear it, does it make a sound? The answer is nobody cares because there's no one there, right? We need to make sure that we have your website completely done, and also we have a plan to generate traffic, right? So that those leads that we can drive online and offline, you can do paid ads. You can do organic searches, excuse me, driven by SEO and quality content that's regularly updated. Again, you remember Clayton saying his favorite part was that nurture sequence, right? You can also work with strategic alliances. So this is about knowing where your target clients are going to be, where they live, where they work, where they shop. Is there a beauty salon that you can partner with? If you're in employment litigation and there's a Facebook group talking about different things that have happened, can you go there to provide support and provide information and put yourself as a resource? All right. Also, referrals. Again, just being able to direct people to get more information, as opposed to saying, "Hey, is there anyone I can speak to?" You're going to position yourself as a resource. That's why you take on speaking engagements, to position yourself as a resource. Going to networking events at your local bar associations, as I'm sure you all know, lawyers love referring out to other lawyers in areas that they don't practice in. So making sure that you're part of these local bar associations, and again, the client associations. What are the clients doing? Where are they going, so that you can make sure that you're developing a consistent traffic plan for your firm? And now within the traffic plan, we want to go over a few things and debunk a few myths here. So you may be on Facebook and you read on your Facebook post on your custom page that you have a certain amount of people reached, right? So we want to clarify what reach actually means, right? Reach refers to the total number of people or households exposed at least once to a medium during a given period, right? Reach should not be confused with the number of people who will actually be exposed to and consume the advertising, though. So there's a difference. It gets to them, but they may not have actually been exposed to it. It's just the number of people exposed to the medium. So if you see on Facebook, okay, that your reach is 1,000 people, that doesn't mean the person actually saw it, right? So we want to make sure to make that clear. It refers to the total number of different people or households exposed at least once to a medium during a given period. So they could have just seen it really quickly. That doesn't mean they actually consumed it. They could have just saw it. It's like driving by a billboard and not even recognizing the billboard is there. That is the number of reach. So want to make sure we're clear on that before you start spending a whole lot of marketing and celebrating reach. Okay.
Great.
And then we have organic versus paid advertising. Well, so if you go on your Facebook post and you post something, a post about any information, or come see me at my firm, we would love to help you. Organic searches or organic posts are only getting to about 6% of your audience. So look at the amount of likes that you have on your page. Let's say you have 1,000, right? If you're only getting to 6% organically of your posts, that means you're only getting to 60 people out of that 1,000. So out of that 1,000, only 60 people are seeing it. Okay. Now with paid advertising, you can be a little bit more direct, and you can have more of saturation of people actually consuming your content. Facebook has a way for you, and Google has a way as well, that you can pay per click. So you're only paying for the people who are clicking those ads, but you have to be extremely strategic, and you really got to know what you're doing. Okay. And this goes into a little analogy that we like to use called echo chambers. And echo chambers are what Facebook algorithm does. So it goes into the Facebook reach and the organic and the paid distribution of your content. Well, you ever notice that you kind of see every day as you're scrolling through Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, you kind of see the same stuff all the time. The same people posting about different things. Every now and again, I get someone different, but most part, you're getting updates on the same people. That's because Facebook feeds you what you like to look at. And what it does is it provides you a bubble or an echo chamber of the things that you like to look. It's just the things bouncing back and forth looking at you. So if you look at the diagram here, each one of those shapes in the middle represent one person on Facebook, and the shapes that are around that center shape represents, okay, that's their echo chamber. That's what I see, or that's what you see. I guarantee you, the friends and things that you see are completely different than I see. Now, Clayton and I are pretty close, so we probably will see a lot of the same stuff, which you see some of those other lines that are intertwined there. But for the most part, each person has their own echo chamber, and that's what makes it challenging when you post something and you're trying to get to new clients, because it's really not getting beyond your echo chamber if you're trying to do it organically. You want to do a paid strategy to break out of that echo chamber into other people's echo chamber so that they can see it.
Yeah, and I hope this is beneficial to you all because I mean, once I discovered this, it changed my life. There was frustration, because there's belief, and you'll find different strategies online of people offering strategy on, organic, complete organic marketing on Facebook as opposed to paid marketing. And, while we've been, providing services to clients, we've tried those methods and there was a lot of frustration there because you feel like, hey, you're increasing the amount of times you're posting. Sometimes you tell yourself, if I just post more, then I'll get more results. But when you look at it from this perspective, you're really just posting more to the same people.
Right.
So hopefully this debunks those misconceptions that if I just do more, then I get in front of more people. In reality, it's just keeping you within the same uh, uh, echo chamber. It's not going outside of there. And really, the only really effective way outside of partnering with others to get you into their echo chambers is really to utilize paid advertising. There's some major benefits that we'll touch at other times to really show you how to maximize paid advertising, not just spending money just to spend it. So
Definitely. Right. So these are again the different ways that you can, different platforms that you can utilize best for your firm. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and then Instagram. LinkedIn is also another great one to use for your firm. And also in email marketing, what we need to be paying attention to are open rates. Click rates, conversion rates, and this is super important. Again, back to that nurture sequence, we want to pay attention to these numbers as we're getting capturing clients' information, putting them through that nurture sequence. How many people are opening emails? What are they looking at? Are they clicking at any particular links that I'm putting in there? And then ultimately, we want to be able to gauge that against conversion. Okay. So here's a quick example, right? If you have 2,000 email subscribers, 2,000 Facebook fans, and 2,000 followers on Twitter, this is exactly what you're going to get. About 435 people will open your email based on the typical open rate standards, right? 120 fans will see your message on Facebook, and only 40 of your Twitter followers will see your message on Twitter. So it's again, these numbers are pretty standard across the board as far as open rates. It's about 22% for the email, and again, Facebook Facebook is just, it's going to trap you in that echo chamber. So we want to make sure that we're not trusting in it too much. Okay. All right. Be consistent in your execution. Consistency is the key to success, and success is the key to consistency. So we need to make sure we have the right definitions of success, that we're going back and we're checking, we're double checking what's happening, what's working, what's not working. And then when we get some wins, whether we got one or two clients from a marketing effort, let's celebrate that. Let's make sure that we're happy and we're having the right measures of success, because again, this is a forever process, which is essentially step 11, because now it's time to set, measure, and optimize. All right, we're going to be doing this over and over, paying attention to it, making sure that we're learning. Okay, am I speaking to our target client? Everything needs to go through that correct lens. Am I speaking to my target client? Am I consistently building? Am I measuring what's going on? Am I solving a problem with my copy? Do I sound like my target client? Do I sound like a really high profile lawyer? All of these things matter. Okay, and it's going to be super important that we qualify successes by these particular factors. You know, what leads am I generating? How many leads? And the lead is basically any client that you capture information. A prospect is a client who has now been engaged. And okay, I understand now that I'm thinking about coming in, and you've spoken with them. Number of clients generated is obviously that conversion metric, and then of course revenue generated is the ultimate test, right? Are we generating new revenue from these efforts? Okay, and that's essentially what we need to be able to do. And we want to make sure that we're optimizing performance consistently. And we're evaluating results versus what the expected performance is. Are those two aligning? Are those two aligning? Is one outweighing the other? And again, using steps 2 through 10, optimize. Step one is Kaizen, meaning it's a forever process. So we're going to continuously make this happen. Right? Let's not try to do everything at once. I know you guys are lawyers, and you're overachievers in every area, but we want to make sure we take this one step at a time, right? We're going to relaunch, set new targets, measure, and then repeat the process. This process is continuous, but I guarantee you, if you follow the process and you go through these steps that we've gone over in this webinar, you're going to see success. You're going to be able to see not only those quick wins, but also the long term success as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, we're at the end of our webinar today. So first, let's thank you so much for taking the time
Yeah.
to go through this entire webinar. We're
Thank you.
really, really excited about the support that we're going to be able to provide for you, and then also the lessons that you're going to be able to learn from this and move on to the next step. Now, for next steps, because we always believe in taking action. So let's take action right now. Let's not delay in this information that we've got. What we want each and every one of you to do is click the link on this page and apply for a free strategy session with the Black Legal team. And what this strategy session is going to cover is we're going to go over these marketing strategies with you. We're going to do an audit of what you're currently doing, give you a score, and then also find out what solutions that we can come up with to really solve these problems. Now, typically our strategy sessions are $500, right? But because you've gone all the way through this webinar, you're going to get that absolutely free. So, but we need you to go now, click the link below, apply right now, because we'd love to speak with you and learn more about how we can help provide clarity in your marketing and get you working with the clients that you love. Okay? Thanks so much again for being here, for Clayton and myself and the rest of the Black Legal team. We really appreciate you. Keep striving, keep fighting, keep optimizing this process, and we're looking forward to seeing you at the next one. Take care.
Take care.